good, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Juneteenth. Today is June 19th. We are celebrating the liberation of Black people from the slave trade. There's so much history behind Juneteenth, and I'm going to include a bunch of graphics and stuff coming up soon so that you can kind of understand exactly why the Blackathon is happening in the way that it is. But I have a couple of books that I'm really hoping to read and get to in these 48 hours. This vlog is going to be completely centered on the Black and LGBTQIA plus books that fit in that category. We are going to focus on intersectionality and what that means. I'm going to be starting with How to Be Remy Cameron, honestly, because it's a little bit easier to read. But I also have Let's Talk About Love as an ebook because I bought it from the Kindle store for like $2.99, and then I had Kindle credit, so I bought it. And that is going to be the next book that's on my TBR after I finish How to Be Remy Cameron. And honestly, with how this is written, the pages seem really like easy to fly through. I'm going to start with this, and then I do still want to read The Boyfriend Project, but it just won't be for these 24 hours. So when I first started the book, I wasn't expecting to be like laughing and smiling like literally every 10 seconds, but Remy is just such a funny character, and like, oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, I love his family right off the bat. It's like really sweet, and there's a Sunday night scene where they're just like dancing to old music, and like they're like the hip parents that are just trying to be cool and like have a good time. And then Julian Winters does a very good job of already addressing things like why does the student body think that because there are two Black kids that automatically they're like best friends, or why is it that because like I'm gay and she's lesbian and this and that we're all supposed to sit together and everybody thinks that we're all like best friends because of that. So it kind of reminded me of the book called what is it, like Why Do All Black Kids Sit Together During Lunch or something like that. I don't fully remember the title, but I've seen it around BookTube recently, and although I haven't read it so I can't speak to the message behind it, that's something that kind of sparked that memory. But Julian Winters has a really fun writing style right now, and Remy's voice is very clear and distinct, and so I'm enjoying that a lot, and I'm really enjoying how quickly I'm flying through this already. I'm on page 34, and literally I've been reading for like less than 10 minutes, so super easy to fly through, and it's not even 300 pages, so I think I'll definitely be able to finish this today if I'm going at the rate that I'm going at. So I'm gonna keep reading, and then I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much has happened because I'm like literally sitting in the same space a couple hours later, but like I need to put this down somewhere so I can speak. All right, so How to Be Remy Cameron. We are on the second to last page of chapter 9, and Remy is talking to Mrs. Scott, who I believe is a counselor, and the entire conversation right now is about his college path and finding his identity. And I think the intersectionality in this book is done really well. So let me just go ahead and read this mini conversation. So she says, "You'll need a support system, people like you with similar backgrounds who know who they are." And he says, "Mrs. Scott, I'm Black, I'm adopted, my parents are white, I came out when I was 14 and I still don't understand why that's supposed to be a big fucking deal." He literally just sits there and he says, and he continues, my point is, how many people out there have a similar background at Emory or Morehouse or freaking Stanford? Are there statistics for that? A club for the adopted gay black kids from the suburbs. And not only can you really see the emotional struggle that is going through Remy in terms of identifying who he is, he has an entire assignment that he has to talk about now, where the meaning is literally, who am I? Like, you have to write about who you are, and obviously How to Be Remy Cameron is going to answer that as he goes through this journey of self-discovery. I think if you are a fan of Edge of 17, it is a very coming of age type of book. Like, it reads very much so like that movie, in the like teenage angst and the, oh my gosh, I don't know who I am, oh my gosh, swoon, oh my gosh, boys, oh my gosh, this. Like, it's so much fun, and it is so easy to read through, and like I said before, I'm like 100% going to fly through this, and honestly, like, I think this is going to be so much fun. It's looking more like a 4-star read just because of the, like, it's almost too cheesy for me, but like, it's still a lot of fun, and like the writing style is so funny, and you can really hear Remy's voice so distinctly from any other character. There are a ton of pop culture references, including a bunch of Harry Potter references, but we don't talk about Redacted anymore because they suck. So with that being said, I think the references are being a little bit overdone for my liking. It's just too like, hey look, let me throw in a pop culture reference, but like, I'm still having a lot of fun with this. I think Remy is fantastic, and I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, I can't personally understand the extent to which he is angry and doesn't understand like who he is, but regardless, there is an overarching message in this, and it really makes you think. And I think after I read this book, I'm gonna sit down and use the who am I prompt to kind of look into my intersectional backgrounds, and so far I'm really enjoying this book a lot more than I think I was expecting to. It is 10:20 and I just finished How to Be Remy Cameron, and this was so good. And I don't know why I'm saying that like a surprise. Like, I obviously bought it with the excitement that it was going to be as good as I thought it was going to be. I am still staying with my rating of a 4-star because, okay, so there were definitely a few moments where this book could feel a little bit preachy. However, it didn't feel preachy to me. It felt very inspiring and very thought-provoking. But I know like somebody could pick this up and be like, oh my god, this dude is just preaching like whatever, and I can see it being received differently than what I did. But like I said in my earlier check-in, the notion of who am I and defining yourself based on labels, and obviously like the cover has like sticky notes and it says best friend, brother, adopted, black, gay, beagle for his dog. I genuinely think this is like the perfect coming of age book. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I definitely feel the Edge of 17 vibes from this. I feel the awkwardness and the word vomit that is literally used a million times in this. It's so good. And I definitely can kind of see Julian Winters writing himself into the book at some point. So there is a moment where, okay, so there's a moment where Remy is talking to Brooke, and they're talking about, oh, just another day of being black. Like, hey, I've got one black friend, you have some exotic flavor you have to try once, and it goes into the conversation of like jungle fever, and there are trigger warnings. They're in the back of the book. I'm gonna go ahead and read them for you guys just so you know. So the trigger warnings are discussions of racism, homophobia, past minor characters' death, and alcoholism, as well as depictions of homophobic bullying and a scene involving brief sexual harassment / racial fetishism. And so that is where that conversation with Brooke happens after said racial fetishism. And honestly, I think everything was addressed really well in this book, and it didn't ignore any topics while acknowledging the fact that you don't have to define everything in your life. So I think this is a very powerful read, though it can feel a bit preachy if you don't agree with how I read it, I guess. And honestly, I was just really surprised as to how quick the read was, but how quickly I was able to really fall in love with Remy Cameron. And if I'm going to be completely honest, like, there is like a romance in this, obviously, once you meet the love interest. Ian Park is like the cutest little thing, and him and Remy remind me, okay, catch this, they remind me of Heartstopper, okay, and of Charlie and Nick, and the fact that they can do that puts the dumbest smile on my face. Like, you guys saw the clip of me like laughing for the first like 50 pages of this book, but the fact that for the last 100 or so pages I felt the same love that I did for Nick and Charlie, that I do for Nick and Charlie, seeing that for Remy and Ian, considering the fact that I've known them for such a small amount of time, was really well done by Julian Winters, and I'm so happy to have read this, and I'll probably give this like a 4.5, and I'm docking like 0.5 for the cheesiness because it's just too cheesy at times. Like, it's cute, but it's like you're a little too cheesy. But I really enjoyed this, and I'm so pleased with this reading experience. So with that being said, I do want to listen to an audiobook next, and I don't know what I want to listen to. I have a bunch of stuff. I kind of want something short so that I'm able to finish it by tomorrow while still picking up Let's Talk About Love on ebook. So I think that's going to be it for tonight, and then I will check in with you guys tomorrow morning for the rest of the 24 hours. Friends, so today turned out a little bit different than what I was expecting. We did like an early Father's Day thing down in Orange County, and I'm gonna insert some clips of us just kind of around the island. It was a ton of fun. That being said, I did get some audiobook listening of You Should See Me in a Crown on the way there and on the way back, and this audiobook is so good and the characters are so sweet. And if you don't know what You Should See Me in a Crown is about, our main character essentially has to run for prom queen, and she is not someone who expected to have to do this, but the reason that she is doing this is to win a scholarship. And I think that idea right off the bat is so much fun because it's one for the perfect like gap, if you will, like in age range, because a lot of the YA characters that we read are like 16 and she's technically a senior in high school if she's, well, no, because then they have junior and senior prom, so she's like 17, possibly 18. I don't know, I don't remember if it was ever explicitly said, but she's like a junior in high school, so that's kind of nice. But then I sat there and I thought to myself, oh my god, I was a junior like 4 years ago, and we didn't have a junior prom at my high school, we had a senior prom. And so when I'm thinking like prom queen, prom king, I'm thinking, okay, they're 17, 18, so I'm kind of reading this with an older mindset, which I think is fine for my reading experience, even if she is like 16, 17, you know? But bringing in the fact that she wants to win this scholarship because she didn't get the original one is a really great way to build some conflict. And then it's a female-female romance, and the way this is building is just very sweet, and it's a very sweet story, and it makes my heart very happy. So I'm going to continue listening to it, get a couple of little things done, and then I'll check in when I finish it, I guess, because I'm anticipating that I'll be able to finish it. I think I'm on part 21. Oh, focus on this. I'm on part 21 of 39. Thank you, Scribd, leaving me with about 3 hours. I'm just about halfway done with the book. So I'm gonna continue listening to this. I'm going to get my LinkedIn profile updated and then we're gonna go from there. There we go, 11:17, and I have just finished You Should See Me in a Crown. I have to say, this is about a 4-star read. I think with all of the high school drama that comes with it, I definitely just think it's the genre that I've been reading in. So like both How to Be Remy Cameron and You Should See Me in a Crown are high school settings, and like I said in my last clip, she is a senior, so that I can definitely appreciate, like, she's moving forward. A lot of positive aspects in this book. The tight-knit family, I think you hardly see in a lot of YA. You see a lot of like broken families, so although her family isn't necessarily canon, if you will, it's not the canon family, it is still so tight-knit and so caring and so loving, and I think that's so incredibly important in terms of how this book is written. I think the petty drama, being a rising senior, a rising 4th year, you know, in college, and reading about high school drama is definitely like, oh my gosh, like this again, like really, come on. There's fireworks going on outside, so that's cool. Love it. It's not even legal in LA, but it's fine. I'm pretty satisfied reading 2 books in 2 days. I didn't end up starting Let's Talk About Love, unfortunately, so I might try to fit that in next month because it is still a book that I'm like very much so wanting to read. But we still have 10 days. We still have 10 days in the month, so we'll see where I can squeeze this in. But if not this month, I'll definitely be reading it next month. I'll probably just wrap this vlog up real nice and pretty tomorrow. But yeah, that's 2 books in 2 days, and I have to say I'm pretty proud of myself, but also kind of mad at myself for not picking up these titles sooner. Granted, they were both like June releases, which I surprised myself reading like 2 new releases when I have an entire backlist of books that I need to get through, but that's besides the point. The point was to raise marginalized voices even though they shouldn't be marginalized, and to combine that with Pride Month and celebrating that intersectionality in a way that is always seen in a negative lens is, I think, what I was able to do with these 2 books. Both books send such an incredibly positive message about what it means to be an intersectional teen. And like, though I can't fully comprehend what it means to, like in Remy's situation, to be a black gay adopted child, or what it means in You'll See Me in a Crown to be a black gay woman in America, like, no, I will never understand that. When you look at me, like, I'm a cisgendered straight woman who I don't necessarily identify as white, but I have to identify as white on the census because categorization. But that's besides the point. It's really good to read from different experiences than your own. And, you know, being a sociology major, I take a lot of race and ethnicity classes. I take a lot of wealth inequality classes and gender studies classes, and the amount that I've been able to learn from my area of study is incredible. I'm going to make an entire video like based on my studies like later, but I can't believe that certain things I've been able to learn in my college education aren't taught in high school and aren't manifested in popular literature and popular fiction and movies and whatnot. Like, I'm getting ranty because I'm upset that more media like this isn't consumed by the greater population, including myself. And though I may be better, I don't want to say well versed, but better versed than some of my peers in terms of the sociological aspects of intersectionality and of just race, class, inequality, etc. It's something that everyone needs to educate themselves on. And if it's as simple as taking an intro to sociology class or an intro to criminology class, or just looking at a community college's incredibly extensive catalog of classes and finding some that will make you understand a culture different than your own, it's a place to start. So with that rant being said, that is the end of this vlog. I will see you guys in the wrap up tomorrow morning. Okay, so hello friends, and welcome to the end of this 48-hour vlog. So I was not expecting to read 2 books in 2 days and enjoy them as much as I did. But with that being said, I completed How to Be Remy Cameron by Julian Winters for a page count of 298. This edition I think is a little bit different than the one that's on Goodreads, but 298 physical pages. And then I finished the audiobook of You Should See Me in a Crown, and that was an 8-hour audiobook. So I would say that's about like 400, 500 pages if you were to look at just the page numbers on Goodreads. And I'm honestly pretty impressed with myself. You guys saw from my little rant yesterday that it is so extremely valuable to read stories that celebrate different communities in general, but especially with the Black Publishing Power campaign ending this past week, and with all of the protests and so much social activism that is going on right now, that continues to go on right now. These stories are just so incredibly important to consume and to widen your grasp of the world, and I think this readathon was incredible. I think the Blackathon was incredible, and honestly, like, I can't wait to continue to read diversely and to even diversify my reading more. So with that being said, I will have links in my description to continue supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, to continue supporting the LGBTQIA+ community, and you will find all of those links down below. And if you enjoyed this reading vlog, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I will talk to you on Instagram.